but it is a very slow moving storm. We are talking about 5, maybe 10 miles an hour. There could very well be some very heavy rainfall associated with this, and I want to pause a second here. Looks like Idalou, Lubbock area. Steve, can you swing our camera? You got it around northeast. The Weather Service says we may have a very dense haboob coming into the city of Lubbock. Towards the Idalou, Lubbock area, get reports of a dust storm or a haboob, as we talked about, as we had September a couple of years ago. So we may have that developing towards the city of Lubbock. It would be coming, if we'll expand the Doppler, and then we'll talk to Carrie right quick, but you can see in this area from Rawls back to Idalou into Lubbock, there may be a haboob developing on the strong outflow winds that Steve showed you a few minutes ago near Petersburg. If that hits the city, that may diminish our visibility. Carrie, what have you got there?
First of all, John, we're about 2 miles north of Crosbyton on 651, and we're looking back behind us. Check it out. We can actually see the wall cloud now, more well-defined. We're getting a good view of it. It's hard to tell if it's rotating at this point. We just saw a bunch of chasers heading south, going back into Crosbyton. So as you mentioned, it's moving to the south. We do see the haboob that stretches off to the west, and then over here we could see a lot of dirt. But some of this is inflow. Now, if you look directly back over here, Caleb, between the stop sign and the fence, look at the lowering that we have underneath. Can you see that? I don't know if you could see it very well, but we have the lowering. This is the actual center of the wall cloud. So that would be where we've had all our tornado reports from, and I think you can see it. Can you see it, John?
Okay.
We have the lowering right there. So this is where your tornado-warned storm is, and it looks like maybe even a little funnel trying to come out of it right now. This is in northern Crosby County. And we can't tell because there's dust between us and that wall cloud, but we can definitely see the lowering now, and it is visible. So you can see right here, we may not be able to stay in this spot for very much longer, but this is your wall cloud, and it has a lowering from underneath the center there. So if you're even in Crosbyton right now, we want to encourage you to go to your safe spots at the moment, as we can see this very large wall cloud approaching us from the north and northwest. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but we're on 651, and we're about 2 miles north of Crosbyton. So as you can see here, this is your wall cloud. We've had the folks out here at the agricultural cotton, I think it's the agricultural cotton facility out here north of Crosbyton, and we went ahead and told them to head home. So with this storm approaching the community, we may have a situation here where we have large hail at the very least. But you can see the well-defined bell-shaped wall cloud, and in the middle we can tell that there is somewhat of a lowering, which looked like it had a funnel coming out of it there for a couple of seconds, and now it's gone back up. But it is approaching us, so at some point here pretty quickly we're going to ask Caleb, our photographer, pull the wide shot a little bit more. You can see the wall cloud a little bit better, and you can see the lowering coming out of the center there. So right back to our north and northwest of Crosbyton is this area of concern. And right now I don't see a tornado, but this is the main impact area that we would probably be dealing with one. If there was one to touch down, it would be in this vicinity. Iris down a little bit on the camera if you could there, Caleb. And you can probably see a better definition of it. Is that hopefully back at studio? It says perfect, so we got a good shot on that right there. Hold the shot. We got a lot of storm chasers out here right now too. They were heading south. So we know that this storm, if it continues on its present course, will be moving into the Crosbyton area here not too shortly. It won't be too far down the road. Again, we're probably about, at this point, 6-7 miles maybe away from the actual wall cloud structure itself. So in a few minutes we're going to have to move because this is actually approaching us. But we are a little bit concerned about the areas along Highway 651. And if we were to put a guess on the exact area of where this could be, it would be between Cone and Highway 651, and also between Highway 70 in that general area there in southern Floyd County, northern Crosby County. So again, a pretty dangerous looking storm system to our north right now. A lot of dust. We see a haboob that stretches to our west, possibly near Lubbock, and north of Idalou, and also north of Lorenzo, well to our west at this point. So this is what we are seeing right now. It looks like the wall cloud itself is kind of going through a morphing stage or redefining itself. So, but you can still definitely see it. And the lowerings that were coming out of it, you can see dust also below it. They have had pretty strong inflow winds into this storm. At one point blowing about 30 to 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. So we still have a pretty good inflow at my back, right behind me. So it's heading right into that wall cloud is where it's drawing up all this wind. A pretty good south-southeasterly wind right now in the Crosbyton area. And before we saw the wall cloud, we had a lot of these gustnados and dirt devils that were showing up in the pastures and fields. We had a lot of them, probably 10 to 20 of them when we drove in. And when we were setting up, we saw a bunch of them too. There's a lot of inflow, a lot of dust moving into this storm. There are some of the folks heading to their homes back in Crosbyton with this storm system up to the north. They're evacuating the cotton plant here. So we've also got some Crosbyton EMS personnel out here watching the storm. And again, you can kind of zoom in, you can notice all the dirt and dust underneath the actual wall cloud itself. So we don't even know if there's actually a funnel coming out of the middle of it at this point because of the visibility restrictions in dust that we have right now. That's about all I can really tell you, but again, we're out here along Highway 651 just north of Crosbyton. And John, if you can give me a little update on the movement, it's been approaching us. It looks like it's moving south-southeast.
It is definitely moving to the south there, Kerry. It looks like it might even be building back to the southwest. And let me see what the latest Weather Service stuff is here. Let me give you that. Severe thunderstorm still capable of potentially producing a tornado. Most dangerous part of the storm is 8 miles southwest of Darty, 10 miles southeast of Floydada. It's still moving south at about 10 miles an hour, so basically south. And then again, we're showing it on a Doppler. We're also still showing you guys out there chasing that. I do want to mention there is a haboob headed for Lubbock once again. This is going to be an intense area. Winds possibly up to 80 miles an hour. I didn't know if you knew that, Kerry, or not, but it's approaching I-27 north of Lubbock and along Highway 82 east of Lubbock. So it's probably on the backside of you guys. I don't know if you can swing the camera around to show that, but it looks like there is a very strong wall of wind and dust headed for the city of Lubbock again. So we're going to be watching that closely in addition to this thunderstorm that might produce a tornado. But we're trying to alert the folks here in Lubbock County, Idalou, down to Buffalo Springs, here in the city of Lubbock, and even down in the areas around Slayton. Looks like there's a very strong wall of dust moving in our way. It was indicated around Cone. Coming back to our thunderstorm. All right, and from Floydada, we've had some concern there, and I do want to mention Kerry is down in the Crosbyton area, as he had indicated there. He will either go east or west, probably back to the west, and give us an update here in a little bit. This is Farm to Market 193 right here. This is Farm to Market 651, just for some general reference. Here's the community of Booth. Here's the community of Darty. And again, the storm itself, where there could be a tornado developing, is moving away from Floydada. It has just been east of you throughout the day, so fortunately it's not a threat to Floydada, but it is located east and southeast of Floydada. The little circle you see here is what we call mean radial velocity. We're looking for the wind indicated by colors coming in and then a change of colors coming out. And you can see a little red maybe there. Let me turn around on this other monitor there. It looks like there might be a little red there indicating some inflow versus your outflow with this storm. So that would be where the most favorable area for a tornado to develop. And we're looking up into Crosbyton area right now from Crosby County up north towards that storm. So this is a mean radial velocity indicating it's basically the Doppler effect. We're watching for the raindrops to be moving in and moving out due to the wind current. So you got the rotation occurring with this thunderstorm in that region, and usually you can see a little more identifiers than we're seeing right now. So it's still not well structured, but it is along Highway 651 there, and it looks like Farm to Market Road 193. So we're giving you an update on that. So again, that tornado warning is still in effect for this region, at least until, I believe, 3:45, at least till 3:30, maybe even 3:45. The storm is just moving extremely slow south at about 10 miles an hour. It's going to be dumping some very heavy rainfall. So Farm to Market roads, low-lying areas in eastern Floyd County, western Motley County could very well be flooded here very shortly. So be aware of that if you're going to be traveling in that area later on after this storm moves out or even tomorrow morning. But again, a very dangerous thunderstorm headed towards the community of Crosbyton, northern areas of Floyd County. It's in the Booth and Darty area now. Actually, it looks like it is south of Booth at this point. Very large hail associated with it. And you can see the EMS units out in Crosby County prepared in case this storm does develop, produce something more than a wall of dust associated with it should it produce a tornado. We're in good position there. It looks like Kerry and Caleb, the photographer, have not moved at this point. That storm is moving south at about 10 miles an hour. And let's take a look at the Doppler there, either Josh or Steve, kind of expand it a little bit, see if we can see the boundary that's moving into Lubbock. And And it looks like, I'm looking at our tower cam from here, I still don't see any dust headed this way, but according to the National Weather Service, there is a wall of dust with wind